Praise the Lord! Come back when you got some money!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Contiengecy Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, everyone, welcome to our All Republic Credit Podcast. Podcast all about the usage and, status of Republic credits.
Republic credits. Republic credits are no good out here. I need something more real.
Oh, classic Watto. We're so good at these intros, aren't we?
Credits will do fine.
Now, we're jumping back into the reread here in the New Jedi Order, the book, Vector Prime, taking a look at Chapter 19.
The Perfection of Teamwork.
Yeah, I think a worse title in this entire book. The Perfection of Teamwork. Anyway, it's not going to be said in here. Let me put it to you that way.
Thank God. It was close, though. Anakin almost said it.
Ugh, get it out of here. So anyway, let's start out in Jedi Council real quick. How's it going?
Still full from Five Guys Burgers and Fries.
Yeah, we were doing back-to-back here because next week might be a little sketchy for us.
No, I just kind of want to get ahead and get solo in finally. I plan on doing it next week.
Okay, well, fine. I guess I'm all wrong.
Yeah,
maybe we should just quit. I'm just going to quit the podcast. I'll see you later.
The way you've been talking. Literally the way you've been talking.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, we can't read apparently today. But yeah, no, it's still getting over food coming. Still doing pretty good. Still doing stuff. Your truck's not broken down, is it?
I haven't started in 10 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's been a whole episode since you talked about working on the thing. They're probably worried. They got a new one? Or maybe they don't care. I don't know.
They probably don't care. They probably don't remember that I have a truck.
I changed my oil yesterday. By myself.
You didn't finish that conversation. We ordered our food and forgot to talk about it. You got a deal, huh?
Oh, I was just saying, like, I'm I don't know about any of you, but I get tired of going to auto parts stores.
We all do.
Unless I'm actually looking for an auto part.
That's the worst time to go to one of those stores.
Well, I know. I know that, but usually when I'm looking for an auto part, I know exactly what I want. I'm just like, go get it for me and stop screwing with me. But, generally I'd go in there, and there's actually an Advanced Auto, I think, near my house. So I'd go down there, get my oil and my filter and whatever was on sale. And twice they gave me the wrong filter. See, I have a V8.
Remember you saying that.
And then
for the V6
Yeah,
model?
the V6 has smaller threading.
Yep.
So, when you give me the smaller threaded oil filter, it doesn't fit. So, here I am with my oil, it's gone. And I don't really clean my oil pan, it builds up. So I don't really want to put it back in the system.
Right.
So I wound up having to walk down and getting real PO'd. The last time I went there, and I actually will not go there again, I had purchased a filter in my oil, and the guy who was there, basically the filter that went with it, they didn't have anymore, so he just gave me another filter. I was like, oh, that's cool, same price, whatever. So I go back in, I'm like, you did it to me again. This is the wrong size filter. I tell you guys every time, and you don't seem to understand. And then, of course, it is partially my fault because I should be checking at that point, but I didn't. And so the guy looks up, he's like, oh, he gave you one of these. And apparently it was a more expensive filter. And I was like, yeah. So he goes back, finds the correct one, and then he rings it up and he says, okay, that's going to be $275. And I said, excuse me? It's already been paid for. Well, he shouldn't have given you this one. There's a price difference, so I need you to pay the price difference.
I just had to walk to get this thing.
Oh, I was not happy. I looked at him and I said, so what you're saying, and I've actually had this problem quite a bit here recently. And if you really want to get me riling on it, I can talk about another story too, because I know you're all dying to hear me complain about everything. But, I looked at him and I said, so you guys made a mistake, but you want me to pay for it because you made a mistake. He's like, he was an idiot. And I hate to say it, and I don't want to demean people that work at auto parts stores, but I swear, at least the ones I've been to, I swear it seems to deduct IQ points. And some of those guys in there, I've known people work at auto parts stores. They're smart guys, but all of a sudden you start dealing with people. I think it might just be dealing with too many people who don't know what they're talking about, or who try or who just don't know what's going on. I do. I just want you to tell me what oil and filter's on sale. What you do with it from there is not my problem. But instead of, so I do have a temper, and if you push me too far, I will launch into a verbal attack that will dwarf you. And I'm not like claiming to be the most intelligent person in the world, but I will key in on exactly what you don't want me to, and I will just lay into you. And I'll tell you what, I kind of restrained myself. I was like, you know what? I am not going to make this grown man cry, because that's what I do. I make grown men cry. I'm that tough. But, so I was like, you know what? Charge me the $275, but guess what? I will never be back here, and I will tell every single person I know in this area to never come here again, because that is it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It is.
So you want me to tell a second story?
Well, hold on. I was just curious how much you pay for your oil. Because you do fully synthetic too, right?
Yeah, I do the full synthetic. It's just,
that's better for it in every way.
It's the hip thing to do. I don't remember. I mean, normally it was like in the realm of like $35 to $40 at the auto parts store, but I just went over to Walmart and they had the same darn fully synthetic Valvoline that I normally use, and I got the top of the line because I like Fram filters. This is a super interesting Star Wars podcast.
We keep talking about mechanical crap.
Well, I like Fram. It's got the sandy coat under, so
Makes
you
it
can
easy
really
to grip
onto it with the stupid oil wrenches. You'd think that they would come up with something better than that. You could probably, anyway.
You can get pliers, but then you crush the filter, and if you can't get a replacement, you're screwed at that point. So.
Well, yeah. Well,
or you can do the screwdriver trick.
Screwdriver, yeah. I was about to say, you can get it out of there if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
I've had to do that before. They got over tightened and added anyway. But anyway,
the reason I asked, so around $28, you said.
Well, when I went to Walmart. I was already there. I was like, why don't I just go back there and check and see what it is here? So the oil itself for the 5+ quart thing was like $22.
Oh, wow!
And then the filter was like $8. But I went with the top of the line filter, which is not normally what you get when you go to the auto part. You normally get like a mid-level.
You get a conventional oil change with a junky filter when you have someone else do it and you're just wasting.
Well, I'm talking the auto parts store. I've changed my oil for a long time, but I buy this whatever's on the deal that I can buy and bring home. But still, it's usually between $30 to $45, depending on the deal and what they're giving you. But on this one, I walked out, like $30, and pretty much a better filter than what I normally get with the same good oil.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm just going to do this from now on. I just won't go to the damn auto parts store if I don't have to.
I was just curious. Usually I get AutoZone deal when I do my oil change. The mobile one is usually around $33, $34. Right. Our Roll King, speaking of that again, has regular price, not sale. Did you say that Walmart was on sale or regular price?
No, it was regular price.
Yeah. The cheapest I found is $24 for 5 quarts of Mobile One. So I'll have to check Walmart. I've never really thought to do that.
Yeah.
I know their own brand, their crappy SuperTech oil. They have fully synthetic SuperTech.
Yeah, I won't use that. I won't go for like
grease. I will use their grease. Sure. But it's grease.
Yeah. Now I won't use like something ridiculous like Royal Purple, which is like $8 to $10 a quart.
No, I don't have a sports car. I don't have Royal Purple.
But yeah, I mean that's one story. You want me to tell the second one, or do you think we should move on?
So guitars.
God. So me and Austin have been, Darth Austin. We've been playing instruments for a long time, and I kind of got away from playing electric guitars a while ago, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to get an electric guitar. So, Guitar Center is obviously very big. I've purchased several things through them. I was surfing online, and I wanted to get a Telecaster. I've never had one before, but I like the design. I like the feel. Love the headstock. Maple neck. I've always been a fan of that. All maple neck, not with the rosewood fretboard. But anyway, so I found a true Fender standard Strat. This is a Mexican-made one, I'm cool with that, which are normally about $500. Standard, $499.99, new. Yep. And it was a good price, sunburst, great shape. And the ad said, it comes with a case. It was coming from Florida. And I was like, well, I might go for that. I was also considering the Modern Player, which, for those of you in the know, the Modern Player is a pine body, which is what Telecasters first started their lives with as a body wood, but moved away because it's a bit softer wood, and this one is alder, which is what they're going with now. Alder and ash for the most part. But anyway, this one's alder. But I was considering this Modern Player because, it has a humbucker, it has 3 pickups in it, and a little coil splitter and everything for the humbucker, which I just find cool. But, this one said it was coming with a case, it was in, great shape. I was just like, we'll go the classic route and maybe add to it, do some upgrades. It was the right price. So I ordered it, got the package in, super excited. I was off that day. I was like, yeah, this is going to be sweet. I'm going to play it all day. And then I opened and I was like, the box is light. You
knew
light.
Right away.
Yeah, I kind of, something was happening. Open it up, no case. And when you say you're going to put something in a package, it better be there. So anyway.
How well was it packaged, though? Was it safe?
It was packaged very well.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bubble wrapped all to crap. They did a good job. I had no problems. There was a dent in the box, so the Postal Service is just really hard on boxes.
They are. You can't blame Guitar Center for that,
no.
But you can blame them for not giving you the case that you paid for.
Well, here's the thing. So I opened it up, no case, and the selector switch knob was gone. Now, the ad was already taken down, but it specifically said comes with case. And I didn't take a screenshot of it. I wasn't being paranoid. So I call customer service. Like, oh, sorry, sir. We'll call the store. We'll get it all fixed up. And so he calls the store. He's like, okay, they're busy, but you know what? They'll give you a call back today. And that was on Friday. They didn't call. And on Tuesday, I called back. It's like, hey, listen. I called in. This is my problem. What's going on? We'll call the store again. So they call the store again. Okay, they will call you back in just a few minutes. Somebody calls me back from the store. Pick up, talking to them. And, oh, man. I was so angry during this. I berated this guy pretty bad. Basically he was saying, he was calling me a liar. He said, oh, no, there was no case. We didn't bring it in with a case. There's no case. It didn't say there was a case. And then eventually through the call, he did admit, oh, yeah, the ad does show it was saying with a case, but we just can't give you a case because, the prices don't reflect having cases or not. It's just sometimes they do and blah, blah, blah. So from my standpoint, if you advertise something with a case, it better come with a case, period. That's on you, not on me. I was angry.
It's false advertising. It's illegal. It's pretty simple.
Right. Well, and the guy, he was saying, well, we can give you credit, but never mentioned a dollar amount at all. He said
probably would have undervalued the crap out of the case.
Guarantee. Well, they don't value these if they come with cases, right?
Oh crap.
So anyway, and then you can just return it. It's like, I don't want to return it. I'm happy with the guitar. I want you to make good on what your ad said. And eventually I asked for a manager. And he said, well, I am the manager. And I said, well, then you need to fix this. So they wound up sending me something. And it wound up being like the cheapest gig bag. It literally, it's like $20.
It looks like something you get from Walmart for a first-time player.
Well, it is the cheapest gig bag that Guitar Center has. It was new, at least, but it was still a piece of junk. I wouldn't put anything in there.
Right, scratch the guitar, just putting it in.
Yeah, who knows? Well, anyway, I did a formal complaint through the website. It wasn't trying to get anything out of it at this point. I'm just like, I'm done, but you guys need to know about this because this is ridiculous. The guy was talking over me, was very rude, and I lost my cool a couple times, and I actually yelled at him. Like, you don't understand. You should not be making me this angry. This should not get me this angry. But I yelled at him. I didn't cuss at him. There wasn't any of that, but I did yell at him. I told him a few times, you need to stop talking over me. It's extremely rude. This is not how customer service works. I've been in your shoes. I've been on the phone side shoes. You don't treat customers like this because you're in the wrong. Eventually, after the complaint, I got an email today from the store manager who said, hey, I want to resolve this. We actually, I tried to give you a call. Your voice mailbox was full. It's like, yeah, probably. But I want to make this right with you. Give me a call. We'll see what we can do. I wrote back really curt. I was like, listen, because I thought this was the guy I talked to. I was like, listen, nothing's going to happen with this. I don't want to really talk to you guys. I'm resolved that you're not going to do anything to make it right. It's fine.
Stop reminding me about it.
There's no use getting stressed over it. So I just don't want to talk about it. Use this as a learning opportunity for the next time. Mm-hmm. The guy wrote back and he wound up saying, it's like, hey, listen, we actually found the case. So we're going to send it to you. We can send you a new knob for your selector switch. Well, again, he wanted to make it right, and he said, but who did you talk to? Because me and you, we've never talked. So apparently, somebody was
probably just made you more angry. It would make me more angry.
Yeah,
lying about being managed.
It was probably somebody in the sales department, and they were just like, oh yeah, I am the manager, and of course they weren't. So this guy, he seemed nice, but I don't really want to talk to him anymore because the whole thing went on too long, and it irritates me that they didn't want to make it right. That person didn't want to make it right in the beginning. Because, again, it wasn't my fault. So I should have a case coming, which makes me happy because I don't have to buy one. And a good case is not cheap.
No, it's not. It's the price of a crappy guitar, truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, you can drop a couple $100 in a good case, and I want to keep this thing safe, because I respect my instruments. But anyway, those were a couple of stories from Jedi Master Dave, super chill guy who never yells at anybody.
Yeah, it's just a shame because, Guitar Center growing up was always such a cool experience.
Oh, goodness.
I mean,
it was so great.
Something you didn't, all there was. I mean, we had a place in hometown we grew up in that we would go to as well, but...
what was that called again?
Metronome music.
Yeah, that's where I bought my second electric.
Got my first electric there from Grandpa. Old Squire Fender.
Yeah, that's right.
Good little player. But... no, it's just an experience, and it's just sad that someone can come up with that good of an idea, and ultimately, the experience is only as good as the crappiest person giving you that experience.
Right, and I've probably bought upwards of like 8 to 10 guitars from Guitar Center.
You're talking thousands of dollars
throughout my lifetime, and I've never had an issue. Yeah. Never once had an issue. No, I'm pretty sure I've never had an issue. And I've had some surprises. I bought an Epiphone one time, traditional Pro Les Paul. It came with a super nice case. I also got a...
I think I know which one you're talking about. Was that
the black one.
Yeah, the black one.
Yeah, it had the push-pull pots and the coil splitters. A great guitar. Really nice.
You got that hollow body blue one from the
No, I got that on eBay.
Really?
Yeah, I got that one on eBay. I also got the Jackson Professional on eBay, which came with a really nice case as well. So, but anyway... That was my the whining and complaining Jedi Council. Let's go ahead and move into HoloNet. You got a story, right?
Yes, I do. I'm actually
Pretty
really
sweet
excited
story.
about this. Let me just take off my Watto tab. Because no, I don't remember all of Watto's quotes. Everybody, I'm sorry, sue me.
It's cool.
So
what do you got?
We're crossing worlds here. Do you like this little? It's not that big of a deal, but it's a show called Game of Thrones.
I don't think I've ever heard of Game of Thrones. Is that something about, like chess?
It's like Sherlock.
It's
kind of like Sherlock. Yeah, with
cool
who know things and drink a lot.
Yeah, no, of course. That's one of our favorite shows.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's quite a few listeners who feel the same way. So, do you remember... a little character, named Oberyn Martell.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a tragic little quick story, but this mountain landed on him.
Yeah, on his eyeballs.
Yeah. But no, so Pedro Pascal, he has starred in Game of Thrones. He's also been a leading actor in the HBO, the Netflix original Narcos, which I watched. Was a pretty good little show.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
About Escobar. But
drugs, man.
He will be the leading actor in good old Star Wars series, The Mandalorian.
So is he the actual Mandalorian?
Nothing is known. He's just the lead.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think a lot of people, when they were watching the Game of Thrones, the show, I mean, the books are the books, but when they were watching the show, I think, one thing, a lot of the stuff with Dorne did not really draw great ratings.
No.
It didn't. I actually didn't. I liked the stuff with Dorne. Personally, I think that, a lot more could be done with Dorne to make it super cool.
Yeah, I don't think it really impacted the world of Game of Thrones as much as it could have. There was a couple of deaths from it, sure.
Well, but in the books, it's a bigger deal. But anyway, so yeah, Oberyn, excuse me, his sister married to Rhaegar Targaryen, who he abandoned, but had 2 children with. Basically, when they sieged King's Landing, the Mountain did bad things that we won't repeat, and essentially, is credited with murdering her. Mm-hmm. So, and the children. Mm-hmm. So, Oberyn comes to exact his revenge in some way, shape, or form, and this is around the time
that way.
Yeah, well, this is the time when Tyrion was having his trial, and he demands trial by combat. Oberyn is champion, and Cersei's champion was the Mountain. So he gets his chance, and he does, quote, kind of kill the Mountain. He makes him into a zombie. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he obviously dies very brutally in the show and in the whatever. But anyway, good pick. Good actor, and my point is I think that there were a lot of people out there at the time who were like, we could have used more of this guy. He was kind of cool.
Yeah.
He was a good actor.
Yeah. We got to see a lot more of him in Narcos. More of a kind of an in-between role. He wasn't quite the leading man, but he was very active in that show. He has a very good range of acting between those 2 roles. So
I think he's talented. I think it'll be a good poll.
Really excited to see. And there's a big budget for this show, so I am not surprised that we got some big names, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing of quite a few more.
Yeah,
with that kind of budget, it's not going to be all effects.
Right. Yeah, I'll be interested to see who else they get for this series, because the big thing is mainly, yes, this is bringing us more content, but it's also an attempt to sell the Disney streaming service to us as well, and they need to bring quality content. And we heard about the new series that they're going to do with Diego Luna. I just blanked on his what's his Star Wars name? Cassian Andor. So they're going to do it like a Cassian Andor standalone series as well. So really looking up, and I think this is good news. I think this is pretty good, and it should be cool.
Well, they're really pushing the streaming service. They want us to buy it, and they have to give us a reason, because honestly, the movies just aren't enough, and Clone Wars aren't enough. They have to add new content, and I think they're putting in good effort to make this a value.
I agree.
And I'll probably end up paying for it, because I don't pay for Netflix or any of the other ones. So why not?
See, I do. Yeah, I have my Netflix.
We split our HBO.
That's
share
true.
Netflix with someone else, and Hulu. So
technically, I have the Amazon Prime as well.
I have that.
I just discovered they had Entourage on there on really? Amazon Prime.
Huh.
God, I haven't watched that series. That was like back in college. That was booming. Anyway, so yeah. That's a HoloNet. What do you think? Get into the reread?
I think it's time.
I think
before we fall asleep.
I think we ought to keep them waiting for another few minutes. So,
what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Norman Reedus? I see Norman Reedus on your screen there.
Oh God, yeah, a little pop-up ad. Yeah. All right, let's get in the reread. Chapter 19, the stupidest chapter title. No, I'm just kidding.
The perfection of teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yay.
Okay. So anyway, everybody has gotten back to Lando's planet. We've got more cannons than people to operate them. They're trying to set up the planetary defenses. They know the enemy is coming. They don't really know much about the enemy, but they know they're coming.
With winter.
That's
wrong
crossing the
one.
line.
Sorry, wrong one.
So, again, we the planet does have, defensive cannons. They're trying to round up people, pilots, because they do have some ships, and and so forth, but they don't really have enough people to fly them.
Well, that's kind of what you get when you, attract a bunch of smugglers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, well, what about all these people running the belt? Yeah, but they're smugglers. As soon as
they don't care about
as soon as they hear about trouble, they're out. But it does. We do kind of have here Han. Han comes out to Lando. He's like, we got your cargo unloaded. Lando's confused. On Serpital, I mean. We got your cargo off right before the moon fell. You think your business connection will be satisfied with that? Lando, hey, buddy, that's not my fault.
You got my robot killed all those years ago. I got your Chewie killed.
Oh,
hey,
God.
tit for tat, buddy.
Yeah, L3 or... What was that?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry. We need to rewatch it. But anyway.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it was your fault we were there. Han growled at him. And 20,000 people are glad you were, Lando retorted. Which is true. It's just, we're still very hurt here, aren't we? Chewie, we love you, man. Yep. But again, Lando does come up here, or excuse me, Han does ask Lando about, pilots and who running the belt attracts, thinking him stick around if they hear an armada's moving against us. Which obviously, I mean, it's just so true. I mean, even Han ran away.
Yeah.
He came back, but he did a little bit of running. Mm-hmm. Let's see. And we do get to the point here. Oh, well, there's a little bit of C-3PO. We got to interject a little C-3PO.
Can we
Han! I heard.
Can we trade C-3PO for Chewie?
Oh, God.
Can C-3PO be going, oh, my dear, as the moon comes down?
Yeah, really. But, at this point, Leo catches up with Han, and, they embrace, and obviously, Leia's going to be just as hurt. I mean, honestly, all of them are from the Solo family, because, not only was he a lifelong friend to Han, but he was also like a big brother to, like Jason and the other kids and so forth, and a deep friend to Leia as well. So this is a big deal for them. And Leia says, he died saving Anakin, and she kind of presses on. Anakin's feeling horrible about it, and she sees the look on Han's face. He's keeping something back. So she's like, what is it? And Han basically ignores her, goes over to Lando. It's like, hurry up with the search, for pilots. And Leia keeps prompting. It's like, what is it? With Anakin, and then he Han, classic deflection here. Just some search to secure the planet. And then she says, with Anakin, I mean, what is it? Han blew a long sigh. A disagreement over our retreat. Now, what does that mean? He left him.
You left him.
You left him. He left him. You've all left him. We've got to get ready for the attack. And then, Leia's obviously very confused, and she's like, he left him. Anakin left him, left Chewie. And that's kind of where they part. So we're going to turn to this perspective of our wonder children here, the super children. There's nothing I could do.
It's the Powerpuff Girls.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice.
Jason.
God, I don't think anybody knows what that means. That's
an old one.
Well, no, that's a reference to God. What was that game? It's a something. Heavy Rain is the game. Yeah. And the father, like he's trying to. There's this whole crap with his kids, and I think one of them gets hit by a car in the game, and the voice actor was so bad at that point.
And he loses them in a mall too, I think.
Yeah, that's right. So you had this button that you could hit. It was like Jason. It's just like different inflections. So I'm sorry. That just kind of makes me giggle. But anyway, Anakin is sitting here talking to Jana. Jason is at the door. He paused at the door, so he's doing a little snooping, a little creeper. To be honest with you, I kind of wanted to smack Jana a little bit here. It's like, so she's kind of being a little bit too much like her dad here. There's nothing I could do. You sure of that? The moon was dropping fast. All the air was lighting up with fire from the compression. Jaina reasons like, where are you?
With the compression.
Did you take like a super chill pill here? Come on, man. You super calm with the force here. We didn't even know where the wind had taken Chewie or if he was even alive. But Dad said he saw him. And then...
he died.
Yeah.
Because the moon landed on him.
That was too late. That was even as we were started blasting out there, we had maybe 4 seconds before impact. And, Jason walks in and kind of surprisingly, he
sides with
he sides with Anakin in this case.
And he makes more sense than anyone up until this point, arguing this point. The Falcon wouldn't have been able to reverse course against the rush. He'd have probably crashed right on top of Chewie.
Right, yeah. If the air was starting to burst, no way. Yeah. And Anakin's he's taken aback. Again, this is Big Brother, but they've had a relationship of conflict through their philosophy. Yeah. But now he's siding with them. Jaina does say, Dad doesn't see it that way. And then Jason agreed, yeah, he's outraged. He's out of his mind with anger about losing his best friend. It's not really about anything you did or didn't do. It's about losing Chewie. Now, this is the part where Jason basically kind of cuts this and it's done. He walked right up to him, Anakin, dropped his hands on his brother's shoulders and stared him in the eye hard. Walk hard. Anyway, there's another reference. God, how old is that movie now?
60s or 70s?
No.
I'm kidding.
Come on.
That was a 90s movie.
No, it wasn't that old.
That was a 90s movie.
No, it was in the 2000s.
Are you talking...
Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
I was talking the actual movie.
You mean
Walk the Line?
Walk the Line?
Yeah.
No, that was the song.
Dewey.
Walk Hard, hard.
Yeah.
God, man.
I'm sorry.
You're young.
Tired.
You're younger than I am. You're supposed to be a lot hipper than I am.
Tired.
So, but Jason says, "Could you have gotten to him and pulled him out safely? Pulled him to safety?" And Anakin says, "No." Jason patted his shoulders and turned away. Then you did exactly the right thing. You saved the rest of them. But Dad's not half as devastated and angry as Chewie would have been if he knew that all the rest of you were going to die trying to save him, which is true.
Yeah.
Which is true. Chewie wouldn't have wanted them all to go down for one person. Can you imagine trying to face the fears of your own death knowing that your best friend were going to die because of you? How would Obi-Wan Kenobi have felt if Uncle Luke had rushed back to help him in the last fight with Darth Vader? He'd have been horrified because Uncle Luke would have thrown his own life away and destroyed the only chance the Rebel Alliance had against the Empire.
Which, by the way, I think it's just a little strange that they were talking about that. Obviously, they would have known these stories. They would have been told them. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, well, I guess I can see what you're saying, but I mean, of course, Uncle Luke did shoot a few blaster bolts out there. But hey, what do I know? Ben! So anyway, that pretty much ends this, and Jason leaves the room, and Jaina gives Anakin a big hug, and he does a little crying. So.
And that's the chapter.
That's it. Have a great rest of your week. Now we got more.
That's the perfection of
teamwork. A lot more. Okay, so time lapse. The Rejuvenator.
R2.
Oh God, get out of here. They don't know that. The Rejuvenator, yes. That's a weird name for a ship.
It is.
Like a warship, like a Star Destroyer. What are we going to call it? It's the Rejuvenator.
It'll rejuvenate all the other fighters when it shows up on the battleship field.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Rejuvenator can be here in 3 days. They don't have that much time, do they?
Space fuel.
Yeah,
The space fuel.
Shut up with your space fuel. Take your space fuel and shove it. They are still tracking the incoming ships, and they notice that they're accelerating. Which they're starting to think about this a little bit. They're accelerating now. Why didn't they do that earlier to catch up to the refugees and potentially destroy them?
Bait it again.
Well, the thing is like, what if they got a signal out to the nearest planet? I got to figure out where that is.
Yep.
So smart.
Very.
War coordinator, man, with all his tentacles and stuff. He's like, yeah, I got it, bro.
Just look at my tooth.
And let's see here. Honda say anything from your brother. And they don't have anything. I don't think they're back. They're not back yet. So they don't have any news from them. And let's pop ahead here just a little bit. There was also this little part that I kind of wanted to sort of say, and I think this was this was actually Leia. I thought this was Han when I read this. So they're kind of talking about like the Republic, trying to get word, see what else they can do, if anything. Leia does say, if they listen, the New Republic has got more of its own problems and closer to home. I don't think they'll send out half the fleet to worry about some minor problem at the Outer Rim. And
minor invasion,
Yeah, and Lando's like, minor? Well, this is the thing. This is what she thought of it. It's like a minor skirmish in the Outer Rim. They don't know yet. Again, like we talked about in the last episode, what if the New Republic sent the fleet? They just sent the fleet now and just beat the tar out of the Yuuzhan.
They probably would have retreated completely. Yeah.
It'd be over.
They wouldn't ask for reinforcements. They'd retreat.
They just nuked that planet, war coordinator bubbling in his own soup and gone.
Yep.
The threat's over. This is how arrogant.
But Danny would have died.
Would like to save them all. This is how arrogant these guys are. And to be honest, and again, this is part of the problem I've always had with the Republic. No matter what they do, they always wind up sitting back in their own arrogance, and it gets annoying.
Yeah. they learn nothing between the prequels and the original trilogy.
They really don't. They just go back to squabbling, and this is kind of the thing. I love our heroes here, but that is a direct representation.
They're fighting for a way of life that isn't all that good. Honestly, it's better than the Empire, but it's
tough.
Not
I mean, there are more freedoms, but they're not truly secure because they just, But again, they're legitimately there are a lot of other problems. But if they would have brought even half the fleet out here, gone, done. The entire Yuuzhan, it would have been done. We would have all been alerted. They would not have been able to get another foothold in this galaxy, lick your wounds, go back to your own galaxy, and have fun with your bugs and coral.
Yep.
Coral. God. Okay. And we go through here. Han does inform his wife, I'll be fighting. He's going to take that falcon up and just start kicking some coral butt. And here comes the Wonder Twins +1. We'll be up there too. Oh no, we're Jedi Knights. We're Jedi Knights. You can't keep us out of a fight.
I don't need 3 co-pilots.
Yeah, and this is what Han's thinking. So he's like, oh, they're going to all come up with me. I don't need 3 co-pilots.
I'll turn this falcon around if you don't shut up back there.
It's like, you don't understand, Daddy-O. We're not co-piloting you. We're piloting ourselves. And, Leia does wind up volunteering to be his co-pilot. Kip is going to go into the laser turret because he, he's not quite over his ordeal. And
still a little hurt.
Yeah, and he can't find a ship that Lando has that he wants to pilot because most of what he has are basically garbage. They're a bunch of stripped-down X-Wings, or TIE, cheese. Oh, my goodness. They're a bunch of stripped-down TIEs with... he does outfit them with some laser cannons and a couple torpedoes, but they don't have internal shields, so they still have to use that shielding ship. Yeah. What did they call that thing? Belt Runner 1.
Which we'll get to in a little bit. is a terrible system.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's really like, screw you, I'll take it.
Now, listen, it's fine for running the belt.
Sure.
Because it's not really
fighting,
a war.
garbage.
But yeah, for fighting, it's absolutely
the whole point
garbage.
of it. They're trying to make this into a viable system.
Yeah, and it was a garbage idea.
It's terrible.
But anyway, so the kids are like, hey, listen, we're gonna pilot with or without you. Cough break, and that's when Lando kind of is like, hey man, I got some of these X-wings here. They got some lasers and a couple, torpedoes. It'll be great. And that's the plan, I guess. Send the kids to fight. It's good. Oh, let's see here. They do order the kids to stay close to the planet, though. So get Belt Runner 1 up. Stay within the shield grid. Do not engage in the fighting. Do not engage. Which, of course, they're like,
listen to that.
Come on, man. We want to fight. We want to be cool and awesome and whatever.
We want to do it in a certain amount of parsecs.
Oh man, they're just on fire today. So I'm gonna skip to our next kind of little time lapse here because I don't know. Did you want to point any?
Perfection.
You shut your mouth.
The perfection.
Did they actually say that?
No, they don't.
I was about to say you should.
They come really close though.
Yeah, well, the only other thing in here, they kind of debate a little bit about their mother being co-pilot, but it's like, she's got this. She's
got the steel in her eyes.
God.
I always hated that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but she's a little older, but she's still, the two of them will be fine. Time lapse, one of those little cool, awesome lapsey effects that George Lucas. Can we do that? We can't really do that vocally, can we? Do the Wayne's World. Now just do the Wayne's World. All right, so they're in the system, and here comes the attacking force. C-3PO.
Nervous.
He's there.
C-3PO.
Well, he's saying possibly you could intercept their transmissions, and I'd be happy to translate if his language, unintelligible to you.
Couldn't we have just left him behind?
Yeah. Which if
really, why did they bring him?
Because Leia's like, oh, I need Goldenrod. It's cool. He's a cool guy.
I need my comfort teddy bear. My comfort C-3PO.
I need to know where the fork goes. Yeah. Which one of these is a salad fork?
She'll never learn. She'll never learn.
Okay, but he interjects his little things here, which if potentially they could pick up things and they could maybe get some of the language here. It could be useful for the future.
But can he learn?
Not if they're dead.
Can he know a language from another galaxy?
Well, and language is mostly your syntax, and a lot of language it's just built in roots, and that's how. Anyway, I'm not a linguist, but I know. Studied a little bit of that in the past, and things you can translate certain things, and maybe not to the root of what it used to be, but with C-3PO, with the amount of knowledge he has, you think that he could maybe come up with something.
Yeah.
Look at Jedi Master David talking out of his rear. Oh, he's such a bad guy. Oh, let's see here. You hear that, kid? It's going to be a rough ride, Kip replied. So, let's see. Where are we going here with this? Anything you want to point out? You're being quiet.
Yeah.
Come
I
on,
kind of like...
Come on, co-pilot.
So, Han and Leia caught the approach of the first retreating friendly starfighters. Just a few greenish blips on the map. And then abruptly, the screen practically turned red for the sheer numbers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it just the screen basically turned red. Oh God.
Like, oh look, our buddy. Ah.
Yeah. Leia does eventually, go to the other pod, the other turbo laser. I feel like shooting something. Yeah, go Leia. Oh, I'm gonna flip ahead here because I feel like you might have gotten a little bit ahead of where I was, which is cool.
I did. I'm chapter page 309. I don't know if you would have the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some of these calls here just to get you in the battle mode. Yeah. Watch your wing. On my tail. Crunny, get out of there. Keep your calm, kid, and hold your course. I got you. I can't shake him. Whomp. The sound of the turbo laser. Whomp, whomp, whomp.
Do you think when these books came out, they had an accompanying toy that had all those sound effects, and then at the end it was just whomp,
Whomp.
The sound of you dropping the toy would make it go whomp.
Thanks, Crunny said. On your tail now, Falcon. We got him. Coming in hot. Oh, I impacted on the surface. We could do some other calls anyway. Oh, so
Fox is down. No.
Oh, get out of here.
Going up to black space.
Yeah, so
Blue space and black space.
This is what the kids are listening to down here, and Jaina basically wants to get a better look. And that's what they were saying. It's like we're going up to black space. Now we're going back down to blue space. Now we're going up to red space. Now we're going down to green space.
What about teal space? Nobody likes teal space.
That was from the 1980s, and we don't want it back. Oh, but anyway, they're trying to get a better view of things, because I mean they're a little far off, so they're just getting radio calls. However, we do have about a dozen breaking towards the planet, but the planet's surface lasers destroy them. So like, oh, I wanted to kill those guys with my lasers. We kind of go on with this for a little bit on the planet. A couple break away here and there. The planetary lasers can't take them all out. So Jason, Jaina, and Anakin do wind up getting a few of them. They get a few kills, and Jason gets the first true kill, right? Mm-hmm. And here you go. Here's
the monk. The monk boy gets the first kill.
Monk. Well, here's your favorite part. Belt Runner 1 here. We're hit. Taking shield energy back.
Screw you guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. So he takes the shielding back. So they're without shields.
Like, well, this is a crappy system. You can't afford a shield for each of them, really.
Hey man,
can't recharge it.
It's
really?
all one.
Socialist.
Just one.
Socialist shielding.
Shields for all or shields for none. But anyway, they do fight off a few more coral skippers. But Jane is basically at this point, she's like, I want to go join the battle. And she says, Dad told us to stay low because of the shields. Shields are gone now. Let's go and join the bigger fight.
Yeah, I love her logic. Well, our shields are gone. We might as well go towards the bulk of them.
She is one of my favorite characters in this line of books. She gets a lot better as time goes by, but just her attitude is so much like her dad. It's like, well, I mean, he said stay here because of the shields, but the shields are gone.
So I should go.
It's good. But, the TIE fighters, the 3 TIE fighters soar into black space out of the atmosphere altogether, streaking towards the battle. Here's something. Have we identified specifically in the book? Now, I know we've identified it, but has the book identified the ships being specifically made of coral? Has that been said yet?
I don't think so.
Well, guess what? It says it here. Multicolored coral, blue to sparkling bits before them as one enemy fighter and then another fell victim to the thundering quad lasers. That's another T-shirt. Thundering quad lasers.
Blood rush and thundering quad lasers.
Oh.
Okay, and by the way, that is the best.
Dear.
That is the best transition yet.
Was it? Yeah, it was pretty good. I like that. That was good writing there.
It's like, who are we going to hear from next? Multicolored coral. From the aspect of multicolored coral.
There you go. C-3PO's being annoying, and Han warns, shut him up or I'll toss him.
Oh, dear.
And then here's some more calls. It's too hot. Breaking for Brilliant. Derp. I can't talk.
Breaking for Denerp to burp.
I think I've pronounced things a little bit better than the last episode we did.
Yeah, we're doing better. Kind of.
So, yeah, I mean, basically they're getting ready to break for the planet. They're severely outnumbered. They're losing ships. So they're essentially going to go. But what happens? Oh, here comes the kids. And Han is He's out of his mind at this point. Break back to the planet. Use Lando's shields. Belt Runner 1 is down. No shields there either. Break back. Leia's adding in here. Too many up here. We're all heading home. Let the surface guns take them down. Go ahead. We'll fight the retreat. Who says that? Darth? Jaina.
Yeah.
But again, like Han is like screaming at him. He's like, break back, break back. He doesn't want to lose anymore, man.
Break back mountain.
Oh my goodness. You're now you're going loopy.
Yeah, I am.
So basically the kids start to mop up a little bit here. Take on a few of the coral skippers. Kip's back there with the laser cannons. Him and Leia are just shooting down what they can. Han and Leia heard the children calling out, signs to each other. And eventually, Jaina is like, oh, yeah, we should have listened. We got to break back for the planet. There's too much. But then Anakin says in a cold and calm voice, no, follow me. It's too many. We've run the belt. They haven't. They've got no shields. And several whomps from the turbo. It says it's right there. So here's the thing. Anakin wants to lead them through Lando's Folly, the asteroid belt. And they do. The kids go through. Obviously, the Falcon can't go through. That would be ridiculous.
By the way, this is just another one of those typical stories of, at the beginning they weren't able to do it, but now they've grown and gotten better, and they can get through the belt. All of them.
Heck yeah.
Perfectly.
Well, this is the thing. They connect. They have a little telepathic link. They work off of each other and
say it.
No, I'm not saying it.
And say
I don't do that. You can do it if you want, but I refuse. Yes, teamwork. So they retreat in the Force here, all three of them together, feeding off of each other. Formation running in perfect harmony for a while. The ship, the coral skippers, using Vaughn coral skippers, basically can't keep up with them. This is instinct. It's the Force. And there was also a point in here where Anakin basically feels like the Force is guiding him towards the asteroid field.
Yeah.
So again, is the Force trying to battle the Yuuzhan Vong a little bit? I think it is. I think it's trying to battle back.
Well, it's battled back before.
True enough. However, in this case, it can only battle so long. The connection does eventually break. They take out some, running them in asteroids, shooting them down, doing what they can, but eventually this becomes too much for Anakin.
It's taxing.
He starts to tremble, the connection starts to sever, and, Anakin can't hold it. And Anakin basically just pops the hyperdrive and
Vector out.
Yeah, he just blasts out in
no
idea where.
Yep.
He just has to get out. Now the other two get out with good flying, but they do get out as well. But Anakin just hyperdrives straight out, and they don't know where. And essentially, the last thing we hear from Anakin is basically he just goes blank.
And it's funny because I read this in such a way the first time around that made it seem like, is this them describing him crashing into an asteroid?
No.
Like, I didn't quite read the part of him vectoring out. It's like, didn't realize that was a jump to hyperspace.
Right.
I thought that was just him crashing.
I know.
Wording.
It was actually the subsequent couple of paragraphs after this that kind of told me that. Because, you're right.
Yeah.
The writing was not, in my opinion, as clear. But, Anakin, he heard Jaina's calls for him for just an instant. And then he heard no more as blackness rushed up to engulf him.
And then the loss of their youngest son, or their youngest child, in the next paragraph as well. So those two things, like,
true enough,
they just killed two main characters.
Yeah, true,
quick.
and it does. It kind of sounds like they lost him. Yeah. But here's Han. Where is he? He jumped to hyperspace.
Where is he?
He was in a spin. He had to get out of there. Did you get a course setting? There came a long pause, and they understood the truth of it. Anakin had just blasted out haphazardly, just blasting off haphazardly. Kids. He could be anywhere, his atoms could already be scattered all over the sector. I mean, literally, that's the thing. And a lot of people just, start to think about hyperspace. And this is where you kind of get into like the Star Trek thing, where jumping to hyperspace is a very specific thing. I mean, they talk about it in Star Wars too, but obviously when you start getting into Trek, it's a lot more, nerdy. But the whole thing is that you don't want to come out of hyperspace and, oh my God, you're in the middle of a planet.
Right.
Or, you just fused with another ship or an intergalactic beast or something.
Or just, blow up an enemy ship.
That happened, and it was sweet.
It was bullcrap.
That was cool.
That's not how hyperspace works.
It was cool, and I liked it.
It was cool, but that's not how it works.
Doesn't matter.
It breaks Star Wars.
It was
It
awesome.
breaks it. But okay.
Anyway.
Agree to disagree. Screw that movie.
Yeah. Han shut down the channel, then bringing the Falcon under Lando's folly, staring out in the vastness of empty space beyond. He had no idea if the TIE fighter had survived the leap or if Anakin had. He didn't voice that fear to Leia. He didn't have to. She knew. End of the chapter. We survived. We survived another chapter, and you all survived more of my nonsense. It's good. What do you think of this one? What's your hot take?
Any chapter that hits on the Force is always a good one for me.
Yeah.
Because that's what got me into Star. It wasn't, it wasn't space battles. It wasn't hyperspace. It wasn't the war. It was the Force.
Sure. Jedi.
That's what I get excited about. So for me, that was a great chapter. And to see the aftermath of Chewie's death.
Yeah,
it's hard.
True. True enough. No, I think it was neat seeing how they kind of were able to use their connection to strengthen them and maneuver in a different way. I wonder if we're going to see more of that when we actually start really fighting the Yuuzhan Vong. Maybe so.
I'm excited.
So, anything else you want to talk about before we end this episode here?
Did you find any flaws in this chapter? Anything that you could have done without?
I don't
Jumping
know.
around wasn't as bad as the last chapter.
It wasn't near as bad. I thought it was fine. I didn't mind anything.
There was just a couple points in the writing that could have been a little better,
the
but it
ending.
was quickly
Yeah.
quickly explained away.
Yeah.
You just can't take the break.
Sure.
You're fine.
Well, it's building that suspense, man. Gotta build it up.
By the way, the next chapter is going to be short. Just checked 7 pages.
Yeah.
So we might get another twofer in.
Maybe.
Maybe if we have a couple of very short ones, we might just combine them together.
Record it all. Well, we're very close to the end. This
We
next
are.
one is chapter 20, which means there are only 5 chapters left
It's crazy.
from this book. And then after that,
Time flies.
Oh, it does. Well, after that, we'll probably do an episode where we kind of go back through the book, mark out some of our favorite moments, and then preface the next book. But yeah, guys, we got a lot of work to do coming up. Hopefully you all are enjoying, again, this book series. Love to hear from you. Leave us a review on iTunes. Hopefully a 5-star, because that's awesome. And if you
All
have any
negative at YouTube because, again, we ignore that.
No, obviously YouTube is out there too, mainly as a backup, for the podcast. But
Pretty clear that Podbean and all the other major podcasting channels are where you're listening. We just
Spotify
checked
is a
around.
big one.
Really?
Spotify has been a
Figured
big
Podbean
one.
would be okay. That's
Yep,
cool.
Spotify and iTunes are usually the 2 big ones, although a couple of the other ones can, and then people have other apps as well.
Right. Yeah, we
But-
were just talking about we got a little over 300 views now, which is
Something like
exciting.
that, yeah.
Hopefully we'll have around 500 by the end of the book, and that's going to be a good little milestone. We'll do a video for that.
And there's so many Star Wars podcasts out there. We're a small little ship wading into a big old galaxy, but we're doing something we enjoy, and again, we hope that you enjoy it. This is fun for us, and it's just a nice way for us to get together and discuss something that we both enjoy. And again, if you guys want to leave a comment or just tell us a theory of what you think, or just let us know what you thought of the chapter.
Yeah.
Or anything, really. You can hit us up on Facebook, check that out. Or send us a long-form email, to tcplanpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're really super loving what's going on here, you can always check out Patreon. That's a good way to just help us out so we can, upgrade what we're doing here as time goes by. And we have the Dinner with the Patron series, exclusive to Patreon only. That's kind of where we get usually some fast food, sit down, have a topic to talk about. And, just chat with you, sit down with you and then, grab some food with us and just kind of listen along.
Yeah, and we'll be adding some new content to Patreon as time goes by.
I've got a lot of ideas.
As winter hits and, we don't really go out as much, some of us work a little less, we'll be focusing more on the channel. Yeah,
we have a lot to do still. This is still very preliminary. Still very much in the honeymoon phase, and we've got a lot of time left, and we're definitely enjoying it though. So
for sure.
But anyway, folks, we appreciate you stopping by for another one of our silly podcasts. Y'all have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.